welcome to the All Need Music Podcast. I'm Matt.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Jesse.
What did you think I was introducing myself for? To talk to you?
Yeah, I was looking at the sunspots and stuff on my face here.
Yes, those are wrinkles, and that is gray hair.
That's sun bleach, man. Sun bleach.
There ain't been no sun.
Down here there has. Sun's out, guns out, baby. Not way up north where you're sitting in snowbanks.
Right.
We're back again, baby.
Gotta love Michigan winters.
Before we get started on this, let's give a big shout out. This episode will drop probably a week from when we're recording right now. But just had a big milestone in the Y'all Need Music podcast world. Actually, a few milestones.
Yep. So we got one coming out Tuesday, and this will come out the following Tuesday. So we should be 10K by then.
Hopefully, with your help, we will be 10K followers on the
old book of faces.
The old social medias. So big shout out to everybody out there that's been following and watching. We actually had a video go viral, a couple of them actually.
Yeah. So
if you guys are digging the So You Think You Know country music videos that Matt's been putting out, that's what one of them sprung. Little Charlie Daniels band.
Yeah, and the
your favorite
Billy Ray Cyrus.
What got you into country music?
No, and listen,
the old mullet.
I said that when I recorded that video. I'm like, this one might get me some blowback, because that's one of those songs that you either love it or you hate it. And, there's a lot of people in the comments on that one that love it, but there's definitely some haters in there too.
I mean, if I think back to, you were alive when that song came out. I wasn't born yet, but when I first heard it, I want to say that like I heard it. We used to sing it all the time. But in Traverse City, it was just played on like the normal hit radio that had pretty much all genres on there, but it was mostly like, I don't know, whatever the top 20, Casey Kasem's top 20 or whatever.
Top 40, yeah.
Top 40. And so, you'd have Achy Breaky Heart on there. You'd have a little MC Hammer. You'd have some Vanilla Ice. You'd have some In Vogue.
See, he's dating himself. MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, trying to say he wasn't born yet. He was born. He knows what's up. I was born.
I was in diapers still doing the hammer dance. Ho, 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 ho.
I'm going to need you to put the cup down and step back from the table.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that has been following along and, replying on socials, and whether it be TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. We're still learning to navigate this stuff, and it's like, I feel like you could hand me something in Chinese and I could figure it out a whole lot easier than social media.
Yeah. Hopefully we keep getting some views like this, and we might actually be able to maybe make a few bucks and hire an intern that will actually teach us some of these ways of the social interwebs.
Let's just go big and skip an intern and record in a studio somewhere and call it good.
Yeah, we could do that. Actually, in like live together.
Yeah,
that's been a minute.
Yeah. Tell your mom and them to go watch some videos and comment along.
Your mom and them. Now you're dating yourself. Tell your moms.
The moms are loving it. I'm telling you. You saw the demographics of who's interacting most with these.
That's true. That is true.
I'll take it.
The moms in South Africa.
Yep. Any rate, we're gonna
get back on topic.
Jesse and his damn rabbit holes. Start calling him Alice in Wonderland. Uh,
Ooh.
so, at any rate, we're doing a new artist spotlight tonight. If you couldn't tell by the really random intro at the beginning that had nothing to do with it. Uh, but, but
We're
tonight,
just trying to keep it interesting.
right? Tonight we're going to talk about little man. No, I wouldn't want to. That's not nice. Not little man. A guy. I don't know. It's been a while since we've done this. My words are all jumbled. So you
I
think you know
guess.
country music? I got that down. Been recording a shitload of those. At any rate, we're talking about Cole Bradford.
You better stand up. We need a better look at that shirt.
Oh, yeah, the camera view isn't great.
Oh, there we go. I wouldn't say little man. I'd say big Cole Bradford, baby.
Yeah.
Because he made you look small.
I was going to say a little buddy of ours, but that didn't sound good either. So it's like I got jumbled on my words. But sorry, Cole. Totally botched your intro.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a
hey,
guy
Cole,
that,
you want to come on the podcast?
we'll do it better next time, I promise.
Promise.
So, and this is a guy that's used to big introductions back before he ever did country music, because he played football down at Georgia Southern, same place Adcock played football, and you know the way they do things down there with running school buses through the campus with guys hanging out the windows and shotgunning beers on the roof of them.
Yeah, buddy.
So, any rate, Cole's from.
Did we happen to look that up? Were they there similar times or?
My guess is no, because he's older. Yeah, and I did see in an interview where they won when he was there, and I know when Adcock was there, they like won one game that senior season when he called it quits. But
yeah,
you know, Cole's a Georgia native from Conyers, Georgia. Just outside of just outside of Atlanta. And
wait,
for those
it should be go Eagles,
right? Yep,
yeah,
that's
Georgia
Southern.
Bulldogs, but he's Georgia Southern, so that's the Eagles,
right? But
my bad.
I'm sure he's probably a Georgia Bulldogs fan, as most Georgia folks are.
Oh yeah, because wasn't he in like the suburbs of Atlanta, kind of? Yeah, so I'm sure, he probably grew up a Bulldogs fan his entire life.
Yeah.
So.
And that school's had some other notable country talent come from there in Luke Bryan and Cole Swindell.
Cole Swindell, yeah. Didn't Swindell play sports there?
I don't know. You know what I do know is Cole Swindell sold merch for Luke Bryan before he ever made it as a singer.
That's true.
Cole Swindell doesn't hit me as a football player. If he played sports, I could see him being a baseball player.
I thought it was something else. Yeah, it wasn't football. I thought it was something else, but no, I'm probably mistaken. But I mean, he could have. But yeah, and yeah, I don't think Luke Bryant did any sports.
No, that's got me wondering though. Now, I wonder if anyone's ever compiled a list of what schools have produced the most country artists.
Oh.
Have like a college bracket thing with country artists.
Right. But I mean, there's a lot of people that do go to school for music. Like I know Florida Georgia Line, Tyler Hubbard, and Brian Kelly.
Yep.
Yeah. I know they met in college in the music program. Like they were both going into music.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, was Luke Bryant, did he go to college for music, or did he just go to college and then,
I don't know.
Music later? Or...
I know Adcock wasn't there for music, and I know that Cole Bradford wasn't there for music.
Right.
Cole Bradford was actually a teacher, and then he went to Tennessee to pursue his master's in special education. That's how he wound up in Tennessee. He didn't go to Tennessee to do music.
Gotcha.
He went there. He was coaching football and going to college, getting his master's in special education, and then he
bumped into you in Tennessee and was like, "Nope, I'm going to go into music instead of dealing with people like him.
Right. Jackass. Any rate, he left the one coaching job and went to teaching and coaching football at the same school. And then I believe it was his brother. He was sharing an apartment or something with his brother, and he had a guitar. He had been singing like his whole life in church and chorus and choir or whatever. And his brother was like, "Come on, we're gonna play guitar." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna play guitar." And so the two of them sat
Girls
around.
like guitars.
The two of them sat around watching YouTube tutorials.
Yeah.
On how to play guitar, and
taught themselves how to.
Kind of kicked it off from there.
Yeah, that's how the boy Braxton, our old editor for the podcast from Braxton Sheets Outdoors, that's how he taught himself how to play guitar, was just going on YouTube, and he would just watch, like, it wasn't a tutorial like, hey, this is an A chord or a B or whatever it is. He would just watch somebody play a song and watch their finger movements. And he taught himself how to do that to, like, hey, I learned this song, and he would sit there and play his song. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Like, hey, here's a music book. Like, play this song. And he's like,
I can't.
No. And I'm like, oh, you don't know the notes? I was like, do you know like a B or a G? He's like, don't know what that is, but I can play these 20 songs that I sat here and listened to. And
the amount of people that are professional musicians that cannot read a lick of sheet music always blows my mind.
Oh, yeah.
They learn the chords, they learn how to strum, and it's like done by ear, not by looking at, a composition of a song in a music book.
Yeah. I can't. Gosh, I don't recall who it is, but we know somebody that can literally just listen to it and sits there and like figures it out. Like,
yeah, they know the chord sounds.
And like me, I have no freaking clue. I'm sitting over here like doing this. Like, I wasn't even good at Guitar Hero. Yeah. Like, I'm just not that,
You'd probably be really good at reading sheet music, though. There's no words. It's just pictures.
Hey, I know how to read sheet music because I was instrumental and I was in the choir. I had a voice like Jesus and Fergie.
That's what they say.
Yeah. They kicked me out of the church choir because I just like overpowered everybody.
Right. Your voice of an angel?
Yeah, something like that. Angel's envy.
Any rate, so back to Cole Bradford. God.
Yeah. We met Cole down in Nashville, and we talked about doing a podcast, and he was all for it, but after he watches this one, he's going to be like, I don't think so, man. They're talking about
keep it together.
Right, keep it together, guys. Like, you guys are all over the place.
Yeah. That's what happens when we wait too long in between and get a little rusty on staying on track, and Jesse's getting his liquid courage in his cup there. And
it's what happens when, you hit it big on the interwebs, and,
right.
now we forget how to do everything. So, but no, yeah, just a little bit back to that story. That was Matt turned me on to Cole Bradford. Gosh, what was that? 2 years ago, must have been.
So
when did you get that shirt? That was before we went to Nashville.
Yeah, I had this shirt in early 25. I think I got a hold of him on TikTok and just cash apped him. And
that's what you were watching them on lives and stuff, right?
Yeah, and if my memory serves me correctly, and I could be wrong, it's happened I think twice in my life, so it's not unheard of
today. the last hour.
But I'm almost certain that it was Jake Slay that turned me on to Cole Bradford.
Oh,
If I
that's right.
remember correctly,
Yeah.
I was in a Jake Slay live and Cole Bradford had popped in and Jake said to go follow him and I went and checked him out and I was like, oh man, I dig this guy's sound. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a follow and check him out and that's what I've been doing.
Right, because we've been with Jake for a couple years now, and you used to go on his lives all the times and everything, and
Yeah.
so
Now
yeah,
it's weird. So like as you know, my involvement in TikTok lives has grown tremendously, right? Because I found so many artists that way. It used to be there was 10, 12, maybe 15 artists that I would watch their lives pretty regularly um, because I like their music. Now there's just so many people that
because you
I
sat
found.
laying awake at night.
Yeah, well, I found so many damn artists now that it's like a
Can't keep
hundred,
up.
yeah, like 100 of them. So instead of seeing two Cole Bradford lives, in a week or something like that, I'm lucky if I see him every other week now because it's like I'll be watching someone else's and not even know that he went live or something like that. Or same with
Right,
Jake or and some of them don't do them as often. Even like May used to do
right,
her Mayday Mondays, and she doesn't do uh, those consistently anymore either. They just get kind of busy with their careers and those kind of start to fall off because they're actually live somewhere doing a show.
right, right. So yeah,
You start talking about when we met him in Nashville, though.
right, right. I'm trying to like timeline it still, but yeah, we ended up it's the old CMA fest that we go to. Everything kind of blurs together and everything as far as because you see so many people and meet so many people while we're down there. But I remember Sarah May went down to Nashville with us. We took one of our top fans to kind of show her the ropes down in Nashville, and you were talking about Cole Bradford
Yeah, I
and
turned
him
her on
being
to him beforehand.
right, and she was like, "Yeah, I was trying to get a shirt too, and it didn't come in the mail or something." But she said that they were messaging or whatever, and he was like, "Yeah, come over to." He was playing at Jelly Roll's bar,
Yeah,
and was like, "Hey, if you come here for my set, like I got your shirt for you." So we made it a point to go and I see Jelly Roll's bar, which the last time we were in Nashville wasn't open yet. So that was kind of cool going and seeing that bar. But got to go up there and meet him before he went on, and Sarah got her shirt and
yeah, talked with him for a bit
talked
beforehand.
with him for a bit before he went on. But yeah, that's he's a big dude as far as I remember walking
He's a
up there
football
and
player.
yeah, he was a football player. Yeah, freaking probably linebacker or
I think he was
defensive end or something.
hey, I want to say that he was a tackle or something, maybe.
Was he?
I don't
Okay.
remember offhand, but yeah, he's
Yeah,
got,
yeah. I mean, he could have been like, but he was like NFL tackle. Like sometimes you think of like tackles and they're the big blobs and everything, but no, he was like a stocky dude. Like, and
yeah,
I
oh
was
yeah.
like, you're like Jesse, here's Cole, and like I turned around and he was there. I was like, dang, dude, what's up? It's kind of like a Jesse Campbell band. Like the first time I met him, I was like, oh hey,
Right.
how you doing? So, but yeah, super cool guy. I thought that was awesome that Matt met him or through the lives and stuff and was in contact with him, and then we're down there for CMA Fest, and he still was like telling Matt where he was, telling Sarah where he was, and we were able to like meet up with him, and he made time for us before his set. So
Right.
super cool to be able to anytime you get to meet an artist like that, just a super cool experience. So
Yeah. Yeah. And he's been, I've talked to him online a boatload of times, always nothing but nice, nothing but appreciative of anybody that listens to his music. And I know he's said before, you know, his music, I think, hits me in that songwriter junkie kind of way, right? Like they're painting those pictures that you just feel
Yeah.
them, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, writes a lot of stuff that is relatable, family kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
seen a thing with him before where he's like, listen, these songs, I if they do great, great. If they don't, that's fine. I love them. They
Right.
told the story that I wanted them to tell,
Right.
and so I would love it if people loved them. But if they don't, that's okay too. I'm okay with that,
Mm-hmm.
and I just love that because that to me is kind of like the purest form of songwriting, where you obviously you're putting your baby, if you will, out to the world to
Right.
kind of judge it,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you're so content with what you wrote that
Doesn't matter what anybody thinks.
it doesn't matter. You're just
Yeah.
happy with it because of what it meant to you. And he's got like that for sale by owner.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when that one came out, he was talking about losing his stepdad, and then they're selling this house, and it's like this home that you grew up in, and
Right.
it's anybody, you can have those feelings even if the house isn't sold, right? Like, I don't know if your parents still live in the same house you grew up in or not, but if they don't, like, I know my childhood home is now in just a bad neighborhood, which was a great neighborhood growing up, right? And it's always going to be special to me from
It was a
that
great
sense.
neighborhood until you hit teenage years. Then it
Uh,
went downhill.
Dude, I was a hellion at 5. It didn't take my teenage years. Everybody in that neighborhood knew me and my best friend because we were little hellions at 5 years old.
Right, and then probably toss Bobby into the mix, and
He was actually the good kid. We used to
yeah,
call we used to call him Sergeant Bob because he was always wanting to snitch on us like he was the cops.
uh,
It was me and Nick were probably the worst characters in my neighborhood, and had many a visits from law enforcement, uh, talking to our parents about our bad behavior. Our parents had to pay for somebody's house to be repainted one time. Uh, down Nick's grandma lived in the same neighborhood a couple blocks down, and we stayed the night at her house. And we were in her backyard, and she had an orange tree and a pomegranate tree. And we were picking up these oranges off the ground that had fallen from the tree, and we were throwing them over the fence to the neighbor's house, watching them splatter. Oranges look pretty cool when they splatter on a house. You know what looks fucking awesome when it splatters on a house? A pomegranate.
looks like a big blood splatter.
And so we end up in the pomegranate tree just chucking pomegranates at the side of the neighbor's house. We were young. I mean, we were younger than 10 for sure. I had no idea. Pomegranate stains.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
bet.
just you can't just wash that off a house.
Especially after it bakes in the California sun the next morning.
Yeah. So my parents and Nick's parents split the cost of some paint and some rollers, and repainting the stucco on the side of these people's house that live next door to Nick's grandma.
I would have made your ass do it.
We were too young. We did paint it. We painted it red. What are you talking about?
Make
they
it rain, painting
they
it red.
they should have paid us. But those are the kind of songs that Cole Bradford's writing, right? Is
Yeah.
those songs that can take you to a different place, or a different time, or elicit those feelings, when a house gets sold or you move on, or it even doesn't even have to be a house. If it was like, a favorite car that you got rid of, or something like that, it's still the same kind of emotions when you have ties to something that's no longer there anymore.
Right. Right. Well, and that's I mean, we've talked about it many times before that, a songwriter writes a song for a feeling that they were feeling, or this song means this to me, and it's such a cool thing I remember Drew Hale talking about it, that like it was such a cool thing when he hears stories of like how that song reminded me of something or reminded you of something different, completely different than what he was thinking of,
Right.
but you connected with it. And I think that's where, like you were talking about Cole Bradford, like he lays down the tracks of his life as far as like these are his stories and everything. So it doesn't matter if you don't like it or you can't relate to it. He's happy with it because he got to tell his story.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's going to be, for anybody out here who hasn't gone and listened to him, I mean, definitely, you know us, we do these new artist spotlights because it's music that we hear and like, and we relate to, and we stand behind it. So he's one of those that go give him a listen. Uh, you might not relate to every song, but there's going to be a song in there that there's going to be something that you can relate to. And
Yeah.
I don't think you'll have to go more than one or two songs on the playlist, without finding something. So
Yeah, and it's not like I think that For Sale by Owner, that one's kind of a sad song to me.
yeah,
And I don't mind, like some people are like, oh, I don't want to do a sad song. Like I love when songs elicit emotions of all kinds, right?
right.
But then he's also got like that song Girl Dad that he did. Him and his wife just had a little girl here in the last
In
year or
May, I
so,
think.
I think.
Yeah.
And he wrote this song, and it was like the way he delivered it was so freaking cool because it was like this multi-generational, because he's talking to his dad, like the lyrics, like, I'm having a girl, dad.
Right.
uh you know so
Right. Little
it's like
wordplay.
he's talking to his dad, but he's also becoming a
Uh,
girl dad, which
yeah.
is a pretty common term right now. And so I thought it was a really clever play on words where he's like calling his dad like,
Right.
hey, like I'm having a girl, like, and
Yo.
his dad's like, and his dad's like in the song something like, about his dad crying, but he's not sad. And
Hmm.
it's like, anybody who's had kids or has grandkids, right? Like those emotions there, those happy emotions, and I think pretty much anybody can relate to those. Like even if
Oh
it's not
yeah.
a girl, like if you've had a boy, it's same kind of feelings, in regards to having kids or a grandkid.
Right. Yeah, no, and it speaks volumes to his songwriting, because that song, that and specifically that lyric right there, where you were talking about how he does a little bit of wordplay and like, I'm having a girl, dad, I'm
Yeah,
gonna be a girl dad. Like,
yeah,
it's like that, and that's very John Morgan esque. As far as kid myself, his song called "Kid Myself." I was just a kid myself. I
yeah.
ain't trying to kid myself. I'm not ready for a kid myself. Like it was like a three different. And John, anybody that knows John Morgan, phenomenal songwriter, has wrote pretty much Aldean's entire playlist.
Not
Uh,
entire, but for the last couple of years, he's written several of Aldean's biggest songs.
Right, right.
Yeah,
But it just to that those word plays like that takes real talent to be able to double mean. And I'll get off top, not off topic, but off genre. Eminem does the same thing. He's a word master where he can use this word and it mean four different things,
yeah.
and to be able to put that into a song and make it sound cohesive and sound
And make sense
correct.
and not sound like gibberish.
Right. Is like, Eminem is the best in the world at that. John Morgan obviously is very good with that. And
And,
now,
and and I'm really disappointed in you. You didn't even catch that. I threw in the word gibberish because you were talking about Eminem.
that's wrong, man.
No, that's from an Eminem song. God,
Well,
bunch
the
of
word
gibberish.
gibberish?
Yeah, where he's like,
I mean,
and
everybody said
MFers
gibberish.
MFers think you forgot about Dre.
Yes. I mean, gibberish is in a bunch of songs. Come on.
Whatever. It was clever in
Whatever.
that moment. I'm a
The one
wordsmith
Eminem,
too.
the one Eminem song the Dr. Dre in it. No. But anyhow, yeah, the wordsmithing that he does, like that's super cool. I hope that as his career keeps going, he's on a very good uphill slope right now, that he will still continue to take part in. I know there's a lot of artists that start out writing their own songs, but then they get to a point where other people write for them. I hope that he still has his hand in some of the songs that he chooses to record, because he is very good at the lyrics and the writing of the songs.
I'm sure he will. I've never had that conversation with him, and maybe he'll want to come on the podcast and talk about that side of things.
Yeah.
Cole, here's your invitation.
No, we already gave him an invitation.
Signed, sealed, delivered. No, but,
Actually, I'm pretty sure in Nashville, when you watch this, if you recall, I know it was CMA Fest and it was a little blurry to me and everything like that. I can't imagine being an artist there. But I'm pretty sure he was like, "When are we going to do this podcast, y'all?" So
maybe.
I'm pretty sure he's.
I know that the whiskey was flowing pretty heavily. So
no,
it's entirely possible.
Nah.
But at any rate, sound wise, just because we have to try and paint a picture, right, to get people to go and listen that haven't. I'm gonna say, and I was thinking about this earlier today. I've heard him sing and I've heard him sound like Luke Combs, and I've heard him sing and I've heard kind of the soulfulness that you would get from like a Mitchell Tenpenny or a Teddy Swims.
Okay.
So to me, if you dig any of those artists and their sounds, you're gonna like the way he sounds just because of that. Those are the similarities that I can say that I pick up listening to him, and hopefully he's not bothered by that. I know some artists don't want to sound like other people; they want to sound like themselves, and he does. I'm not saying he's a clone of Luke Combs or a clone of Mitchell Tenpenny or anything. He's not. I'm just saying you pick up those vibes in different songs of his.
Well, and what I really like about him is, there's a few of his songs that I can listen to, and it's almost like I wouldn't consider him like a country artist. Like it has a little bit of like rock and roll, but like shine down rock and roll, not like hard rock, but then just the different like octave ranges that he does in his songs is just crazy to me. Like he'll be like kind of singing here, and then like all of a sudden he's here, and it's like it's pretty incredible actually, like to hear him jump around a little bit with his octave range.
Yeah.
But I kind of get like, but there's some songs that it's like, okay, that's a country song, and he's more the soulful. But then he gets into a little bit of that and it's probably why him and Jake Slay kind of got along, because Jake Slay's kind of a rocker at the same time. So I kind of get that. It's cool when artists can do kind of like, you're not just a straight country artist. You can do a little bit of rock and roll. You can do a little bit of like alternative rock, and you could do some country and some twangy bluegrass. So.
Yeah. And the other thing that I know he's done, because I've seen it on his lives, is he'll do like a mashup, where he's doing like some R&B songs.
Yeah.
I can't remember what song it was. There was one of the lives, his sister popped in and was like, commenting like, "Oh, you got to do this," and
give me some salt and pepper,
whatever it was he did. And it was like, wow, that was a very interesting version of that song. And I'm always a sucker for that when I hear stuff like, I actually commented something, and I'll cover that in the next episode today about mashing up a couple of genres on a song. But any rate, yeah, Cole is a great dude. He's got an incredible sound, and his songs will definitely like strike you right to your core.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I would say, get out there, get on Spotify, get on Apple Music, you know, make sure you're following them on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, all of that kind of stuff. All of it helps, and we're seeing that with the podcast ourselves, where it doesn't take much to kind of turn things in a really positive
Right.
direction.
Right.
And whether it's, five of you that go follow them, or 10 of you, or 100 of you, or 1,000 of you, I know from talking to these artists that they're happy. If you send them one new fan, they're
Right.
stoked. They want every single fan that they can get. So if you go check him out and you dig him like we do, shoot him a comment on one of his posts and tell him we sent you, so he knows that we're sending some love his way. And you know, rock out to his music.
Tell him he needs to come on the podcast.
Yeah,
Tell
do
his
that too.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to hear, we want to dig into the songwriting. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Real quick before we go, whatever platform that you guys are streaming on, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and this is what I found is I can't remember when I heard this song. It was sometime after you had like told me to go check them out, and I heard the song, and then the other day when we were talking about doing this this artist spotlight on him, I was like just kind of jumping back into him and like kind of re-listening to some of his music. Because a lot of times I have a playlist where I might have just one of his songs on a huge playlist. So I wanted to jump back into a bunch of them. And the song that like I remember listening to last year, and the song that I really like, one of my favorites of his, it didn't show up on his top 10 yesterday. So make sure when you guys are going to it, yeah, obviously listen to the top 10, but those are going to be like the most streamed songs and everything. But so a lot of his top 10s are from like his album that he dropped last year, and a lot of or not his album, but his a lot of songs from last year. But Damn Good Dog, that was from 2024.
Yeah.
That's going to be one that it don't matter who you are, that you're gonna have some feels and some remembrance. Like Matt, they don't have a dog right now, but I bet you if he listened to that, he'd remember back to like a childhood dog, or the last dog that they had. Like,
oh yeah,
it's a song that like you could just, and it's kind of like a, it's not like a sad song, because you think like, oh, a dog, sometimes it can be a sad song, but it's kind of like a upbeat, like happy song, and it's just like, oh, Baners, like thinking about, like, yeah, damn good dog. So,
right.
but just make sure you're kind of like diving around into a lot of the different music, and don't just get, stuck on them. Sometimes the top stream songs aren't necessarily the best songs, to relate to everything.
Right.
So
I agree.
there was my ramble.
All right.
I just had to get that song in there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Dollars and cents.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up, so we will catch you next time on
Y'all Need Music Podcast.
Later.